Do you want to know our story of how we manifested 3 houses in 3 years? If so, stay tuned to find out. Hi, and welcome back to our channel.
Today we're going to be telling our story on how we started and how it's going.
Alright, so this whole journey begins in the year 2017. We had just moved to a new state to start our life over. I, being the immature person that I was back when I was in the military, I didn't save any money.
No, he did not. But we moved. We were scared, of course. I think everyone would be scared moving in a new state. You don't have any friends. You don't have a job. You basically start fresh. I did move closer to family, but
Still
yeah,
scary.
it was still scary. When I first got here, I became a Chinese delivery driver. I got paid, $50
A day for 12-hour shifts.
for 12 hours from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. I think it was a good thing because it made me more familiar to the area.
I was doing random jobs. I was a bartender. That lasted about a week. They didn't like how I handled people when they were drunk. So then I was I guess you would call, I swept hair. I don't know what you would call that, at a all-male salon. That didn't work out. I tried to get jobs at Best Buy. I guess they didn't want my knowledge and skills there. But anyway, so while all this was going on, we were living at a lady's house that we found on Craigslist.
It was a 3-bedroom. So it was a lady, another renter, and it was us. It was a full bedroom, and we still had 3 dogs at the time. We have 4 now. So it was February, and it was still really cold out, but the room was so small. We were just it was just so hot, and we would just step over each other to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom was shared. So, we tried to really make it work.
We were blessed to have found her because she was a very nice lady and helped us while we were in need of a place. So all the time while we were there, we had this marvelous idea of, hey, let's just buy a house. I don't have any money saved, but we were like, no, let's just get a house.
We decided to get a house because we also didn't want to be paying for someone else's mortgage.
That's true. So that's the main thing as well.
It was investing in ourselves.
Yeah, why would I pay someone else's mortgage when I can pay the same price or less for my own place? Anyway, so not knowing if we would even get approved, which I honestly at the time was still in a very negative mindset in my days. So I was like, well, yeah, we'll ask and we'll get a realtor, and not thinking that we would actually be able to get a house, we called a realtor, found one, and started looking at homes. How long did that go on for? 2 months?
Yeah, about 2 months. Because when you're looking for a house, you're not just gonna find the perfect one. Well, in some cases it may, but we would go in a house, oh, this is perfect, it's beautiful, then you find 2 things that's wrong with it. Yeah. And sometimes you get attached to the house. That's why they say don't get attached to the house yet before you even see it in person, or even before you get approved for it.
That's true too.
Because there are so many times where I hope we get the house, and then there's just something wrong, or you don't want to settle for less, basically.
Yeah. Patience is a virtue. Whoever
Definitely
came
is.
up with that was very right. And it's so hard. It's easy to say, but when the time comes and you're supposed to be patient, that's when you know if you have the discipline. Because if it wasn't for her, I would, what do you say I do? I instantly buy stuff. What's that called? Where you impulsive buyer.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be patient. I would rather have it.
Yeah, because we were like a month and a half in. We were like, we should just get the next house that we like, you know, and that's not the right way to think.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate our realtor, Ryan. We appreciate him because every time we saw him, he was always happy. He didn't pressure us. He told us, what really was going on with that place or the house.
Or the area, that's a big thing too. Because the price might be nice, honest. But yeah, because they make commission off of selling a house. So he could easily just be like, hey, you need to get this house. but he wasn't. He was super
He was great.
great. And I was like, well, this is great. Now we have a house. We're homeowners. I just signed my life away for 30 years, basically. But then I was like, how are we gonna pay for this house? So that's where Airbnb came in.
Yeah, we decided to do Airbnb because even when we traveled before, we wanted to save money, and Airbnb was like the best way to go. You know, we were already curious about it before, and we've talked to homeowners that have had it. So we just decided to like sign up and see how it goes. And literally that same night, we've had like
3 bookings
Yeah.
right away. Talking about tickled. Oh boy. I was like, I can pay the utilities. So anyway, fast forward, what to say, 6 months. You learn a lot. Sorry, we had to cut this video. Our dogs, they kind of came up over here. Anyway, fast forward a couple months. Started doing really good with our Airbnb. We learned a lot. If you want to know some tips, some tricks, just things that we wish we knew before we started, because we didn't have anybody to follow on YouTube at the time of how to run Airbnb. So in the comments section below, let us know if there's something you want us to make a video about. So I started going back to school, GI Bill to go back to school to become a personal trainer.
I did too, as an esthetician. So we wanted to look at more ways to earn more money, so side income basically. And at first we were like looking into Amazon. You were trying to invent
a shaker bottle.
A shaker bottle.
I do a design and everything. Try to get someone to make it. They said you're going to pay me $10,000. I said, well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think YouTube sees what you're trying to look for in a business. And then we came across like law of attraction videos. On Tori, our friend Tori, she told us about The Secret. So The Secret really inspired us to practice the law of attraction. We did vision boards and we manifested at night, or even during the day, or when we're feeling stressed out,
overwhelmed. We would just stop. She'd be crying sometimes. I'm just like, hey, look, I don't know how or what's going to happen, but in the end, it's going to be okay. So we would sit there and we would practice gratitude. Gratitude's like the key component. You have to be grateful for what you already have, because when you're grateful for what you have, you'll have more blessings sent to you to be grateful for as well. Not only did the vision board help us and the manifestation at night, but also who we surrounded ourselves with was a big thing.
Yeah, well, practicing the law of attraction, you actually realize that all of the toxic people in your life, don't contact you anymore. They don't even show up. But you gain like amazing people that actually are like-minded, and it's amazing. And it's funny because once we like learned about the law of attraction, we were just so into it, and we tell people that actually don't believe it, and we just sound cuckoo to them. Yeah. You know what? We're doing us. So
I would send people with these long text messages like, hey, you need to check out this video, it's going to change your life. And then they would be like, thumbs up.
Like, are you
that was it.
Are you selling or something?
They probably thought I was like tripping on acid or something. And this man's on a spiritual journey. I don't know where he's going, but I wish the best for him. Anyway,
it's just something you want to share. You want people to be as positive, because that's what the world needs.
It is. And don't get me wrong, we're negative too, but we got to the point where we can catch ourselves nowadays. It's not where I used to. Once something negative happened, I stayed in that mindset all day. And guess what? More negative shit happened. But now we get on each other, especially me. If I touch you being a little negative Nancy, I gotta slap her on the hand, but hey, you need to calm down. Ain't that right? That's right. Anyway, where was I going with all this? Yeah. So fast forward a year, our Airbnb is doing phenomenal. I'm starting to get in the groove of, hey, we need to expand. We need to keep doing big things. I'm on this high in life.
Yeah.
So we get on Zillow again, start looking at properties.
Just to look at properties.
Just to look.
At this point, we've already practiced law of attraction. He graduated as a personal trainer. I graduated as a professional esthetician. And we were like, what's next?
Yeah, what can we accomplish now? So my whole idea to begin with was I'm just going to build a gym at my other house, and the yard wasn't that big, so it would have been a small little gym. Now my mindset is let me buy another property that already has a spot for my gym that's already there. So we're looking, nothing's coming up. When we do find something, it's outrageous. It's like it's outrageously priced. So this is really testing our faith and our, our belief in what we've been practicing the last year or so. So I, by some chance, happened to scroll through the very last page of Zillow at the time, and there was this house, and it had been on the market for 100 some days, which is very uncommon nowadays with the market. And I seen this big backyard with a waterfront, beautiful. The only problem was the house was just
It wasn't pretty. It needed some
it needed
TLC.
a lot of TLC, even more than I thought it was when we actually got there. In my mind, I'm like, how am I going to sell this to Shira so I can get this place for my gym? Well, by the grace of God, when we got there, the house it actually looked better in person than it did on the pictures, which is usually the opposite. It looks great in the pictures, and you get there and it's a dump. Stuff's just falling apart.
Not only that, sometimes you walk into the house, even if it needs a lot of TLC, we saw our vision. We saw, oh, this place would work this way for my business, for your business.
Airbnb.
And there's just you just have a vision in your mind on how this is gonna work. And we believed it was gonna work.
That's right. And we were sold on the house. So we put an offer in and we got it. So
yay!
Yeah. Yeah. So we went straight to work. So at the time I was working as a personal trainer somewhere. What were you doing?
I was Ubering as well.
Oh, Ubering.
Yeah, I was Ubering because I graduated from SD school and I really didn't want to apply for a job somewhere and then go back to school because I really wanted to finish my master's esthetician before I applied for a job.
Right.
So yeah, I was Ubering and we were working over 12 hours a day. Honestly, we built everything from scratch. We can show pictures.
So we worked, like I said, I did my personal training at the place I was working at. 6-7 hours a day, get off, go make sure all the Airbnb rooms at our first house were up to par, and then we would spend the rest of the night working on the new house. We did that for a whole month.
Yeah, and speaking of fixing everything, we were honestly just using our credit card at this point because that's a lot of money spent. And there was a point in time where we were like feeling you have doubts. You're like, is this worth it? Do you even think like this is gonna work out?
How am I gonna pay this credit card? How am I gonna pay the mortgage? Is this going to be as good as the first house?
Yeah, but we kept listening to positive podcasts. I was taking out nails on the floor. I'm listening to positive podcasts. No one's gonna tell me nothing, And we even went to Lowe's one time, and I was crying. We ended up fighting, and he was like, you know what, let's just go to Lowe's and let's just get this over with. And I was like, I had doubts, like I said, you know. And so I told him, you know what, let's stop everything right now. Before we go inside, we have to have this high vibration. So I asked to hold his hand, and I was like,
Get away from me. Let's go.
I was like, you know, tell me something you're grateful for, and I'll follow. So he would say, you know, I'm grateful that we even got this house, you know. And then I said I was grateful for my 4 babies. You just keep going, grateful for family, for friends that support you and love you, etc. As you are grateful, your vibrations will get higher, you know, because nothing brings in more blessings than having a, you know, grateful heart.
Right.
So yeah, and then
So all this right here went back to what I said earlier.
Yeah, and we were like,
you
we got
catch
this.
the negativity and then you stop it in its tracks. So if not, it's just going to snowball into this big disaster of a situation that could have been avoided if you just had changed everything to begin with. So after a whole month of basically 18-hour days working, no shift, 18 hours, sleep, redo it, repeat, we finished the house on our birthday. And we had basically our birthday and a housewarming party same day. And we didn't finish the house until like 3 hours before everybody came.
Probably an hour before.
It might have been an hour. I don't know. It was very close.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say I had a good night that night. I just drank all my worries away and celebrated, you know. So, get everything done. Start Airbnbs. By the grace of God, everything was going well again. People were coming in. My gym was doing great. My wife had her little area set up too. Everything was rolling the way it was supposed to. All that doubt we had in the beginning was just squashed. It's just like, you know, we knew before it even happened that everything was going to be great. And it turned out just that way.
There's always going to be a little bit of obstacles in between because, you know, you wouldn't be as grateful for where you're at now if those little things didn't happen. But when those things happen, it's going to feel so overwhelming, but you have to trust that it's going to be okay. There's so many instances in our life where like, is this worth it? Like I said, you know, like I'm like getting nose, my nose getting red, but like, because you need to feel it, you know, you really have to. I think that's the biggest part of law of attraction is you have to feel it. You have to believe it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So then now we're what, 25 at a time?
Yeah.
25. Got 2 houses, have our own businesses. Life's good. Well, my mind had already been opened up to the fact that, hey, you are possible of anything. You know, you just got to believe. You got to work hard for it. The sky is literally the limit. As corny as that sounds, and people who say, oh, that guy just saying that because he has all this or he has that, doesn't matter. So my wife, her lovely self, bought us a kayaking expedition. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah, for
our
anniversary.
Our anniversary,
yeah.
sorry.
And we were supposed to be watching dolphins as we kayaked, but instead of watching dolphins as we kayaked, we were watching at the houses in the background, those beautiful big houses with docks. And we were like, we're getting one of those. We're getting one of those. You know, you have to speak it into existence.
I remember sitting there in the middle of the water. Everybody's way ahead of me. And I'm just staring like, why do I not have a big house? And I'm like staring at the water. I'm like looking at myself, talking to my reflection, like, why don't you have a house this size? So I get excited.
Well, first of all, you don't need to have a big house. It's just what we wanted, all right?
Oh, yeah. So after we left the kayaking expedition, I instantly had already texted Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. And I told him, hey, we want to look at some houses. We just wanted to look. We didn't really have a plan. We didn't really plan to buy a house.
We just wanted
to see what was on the market.
Yeah.
And the market was very slim, to say. I didn't know the interest rates were so low. So it made it a whole lot harder to try to find something that we wanted.
Yeah, because everyone we're looking for houses too, and then like you find something that's good, and then they're just gone.
It's gone.
Same day.
Literally, we had that one where we found a house like this is what I'm gonna go look at this house, and I'm in the market for an hour, and our realtor called and they're like, it's already under contract. So it's only been an hour. I said, who? What? So this is where we had to, what do you say, bite the bullet and raise our price of what we wanted to get.
But I do want to put a disclaimer. We do use the VA loan.
Yes.
So we do have kind of an advantage, but you know,
there's pros and there's cons.
Yeah.
So when I try to explain to people when they're like, how are you affording all these houses? You know, we tell them that, hey, you know, we do have the VA benefit, the home loan. But you have to understand that just because we don't have to put money down, that just means that now that our mortgage is basically double what everyone else who would have put money down has to pay. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like awesome, you can use this money that you don't have to put down towards the house to buy furniture, but at the same time, now your mortgage is double. So you got to come up with that money some way or another. So if our Airbnb wouldn't have worked, we would have been up shit's creek.
So long story short, the faith needed to be higher than ever.
Way higher.
Yeah.
Way higher. So we looked at a couple houses. Nothing really struck our eye. And the thing is, our realtor, he knew what we wanted, and like just by looking at the photos in the area, he'd be like, you know what, this isn't really like worth going to look at. So we were getting kind of irritated, but like just like we talked about earlier, patience is a virtue. We finally found a place. Remember the one over there in there, Kirby, the Zen.
Oh yeah, we found a house that was, you know, we had vision for that house.
Yes.
We were like, oh, I think this is it. This is it. It's been on the market for not too long, but not too short either. Yeah. And we were like, this is it. We tried manifesting it, you know, day and night. I think for like maybe 3 days.
3 or 4 days, like hardcore.
We were trying to manifest it, but as you manifest, you have to realize that it's not always going to work in your favor because some things aren't just meant for you.
There's a higher, what's the word?
God has better plans.
There you go.
For you. And, but you know, when we were trying to manifest it, we were like, you know, if this isn't for us, then it's going to be okay. You can't force it.
Yeah. If we did everything in our power
to manifest
it, and I told her, I said, look, I want this house just as much as you do, but there's a certain price that I am going to pay, and if they want to accept that, then that's not meant for us, so I'm not paying any more money. Didn't happen. It sucked, it really did, but at the same time, like I told Shower that day, I said, hey, look, we didn't get it because there's something better.
Yeah. You always have to think that way.
Always have to.
Because that's the truth, though, you know?
It is. Now, here comes the house that we are currently living in. We got to the place. At first, I was a little thrown off because they would take me under bridges and stuff. I thought he was trying to take my ass to Narnia. I was like, where are we going? We get to the neighborhood. Beautiful, beautiful neighborhood.
It's like a hidden nest.
Like a hidden gem. So we get to the house. Outside, it's nice. I'm like, okay. So I go inside, and it blew my mind. I was just like, holy cow. I was going to say something else, but I got to quit cussing. So the house turned out to be way, way, way cooler than I thought it was going to be. There was this like a uniqueness to it, like it was custom.
It was basically, it was custom. I haven't seen one laid out this way. And, you know, we like that weirdness. We like that, you know, you want it to be different, so...
Yeah, I could see my house living. I could see myself living in this house. So we put in an offer, and just like last time, I told Shara, I said, "This is what I'm going to offer, and if they don't want to take it,
then it's not meant for us."
It's not meant for us. Well, the next day, old Ryan called. He said, "Hey, man." I said, "Hey." I thought he was going to be like, "Hey, you know."
No. They accepted the offer, but there's another obstacle.
Oh yeah, I try to forget about this part.
There was another obstacle, like, oh, it might not be, you know, we're not gonna go into full details, but it was basically telling us like, oh, you might not get the house after we waited a few days
Yeah.
And then we went through the inspection, passed it.
We had to pay for all this stuff
we
to
paid
close
for
on the
everything.
house. So we're supposed to close the house in basically 6 days.
Mhm.
And then they call us saying that, hey,
Yeah.
look, you might not be able to get the house now.
Yeah, and then we tried everything we could. We were getting heated. Even the day of the closing, there was still a chance that we couldn't have gotten the house. And we were like, you know what? We've had our hearts invested in this, but if it wasn't gonna happen, then it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. But it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, and then when did we close?
September 30th.
September 30th. So literally that same week we turned 27. So we got the house when we were 26, and we had another birthday housewarming party.
Yeah. Yeah, so from the age 23 to 26, we got a house each year. When we started from living in a condo or townhouse, whatever it was, to our first place, to manifesting and attracting the people that we have in our lives now who are amazing and just super humble people, to opening our own businesses, to now owning our third house. And this is only the beginning.
Yeah, we're not done yet. We're not saying we know all the answers, but our faith is all the way up there. I do. I believe in God, and I know He would never let me fall. He would never let us fall. And it's whatever you believe in, but you need to have faith. But I know my faith is with Him, so.
Yeah. So I hope you want to keep following along on this journey with us so we can tell you the mistakes that we've made. We can show you the things that we've done that helped us to get through tough times.
And like I said, we don't know all the answers, but come along with us as we learn and make more mistakes. So.
Yeah, and we'll all grow together, and we'll make sure that this is the best year we've ever had. And I hope that you enjoy these things. I know this was a little bit long. It's hard to tell because we don't want to bore you. Please let us know about the tips and tricks or anything that y'all want to know about.
If you have any questions about, like whatever we just talked about, feel free to comment or message us personally. We will leave our Instagram links below and our email as well.
Absolutely. So until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Stay blessed.
Stay blessed. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.